Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Ferrer, your professor. Our topic this morning is on comparative development, especially on the differences and commonalities among developing countries. First, we're going to define developing world. These are areas of the world that are poor and do not have many industries. According to the World Bank, developing world can be classified into low, lower middle, upper middle, and high income groups, which are associated with an annually updated threshold level of their gross national income per capita. As you can see on the slide, the developing world are being divided in 4 thresholds. You have the low income, the lower middle income, the upper middle income, and the high income per capita. Compared to the threshold level in 2018 and that of 2019, there is actually an increase in threshold level of GNI per capita using US dollar, as observed especially in particularly in the lower middle income. In 2018, the threshold level of GNI per capita is 996 to 3,895 US dollar, while an increase was being observed in 2019 with within the bracket of 1,026 to 3,995 US dollar per capita. And for high income threshold, an increase was also observed from 2018, where there is greater than 12,055 US dollar to 12,375 US dollar. Now let's look at the classification of economies by region in income as published by the World Bank in 2019. For example, in the case of Comoros and Georgia, with low income and lower middle income in 2018, based on its GNI per capita in 2017, there is an observable increase in 2018 as published in 2019. So, from low income and lower middle income groups, they in their new groupings in 2019, they now belong to lower middle income and upper middle income respectively. While in the case of Argentina, in 2018 publication, the country belongs to a high income with GNI per capita of 13,040 US dollar. But in 2019, there is a decrease in their grouping, with the GNI per capita of 12,370, giving Argentina a new grouping of upper middle income. So this means that classification of economies by income can change from year to another based on its GNI per capita. This, as of July 1, 2020, there is a new grouping of regions as to low income, lower middle income, upper middle income, and high income. So from below 1,026 for 2019, now we have 1,036 US dollar per capita in the low income groups, while for the high income groups, last year we have higher than 12,375 US dollar GNI per capita. But for this year, as of July 1, we have higher than are greater than 12,535 GNI per capita. Another publication of the World Bank is that of the economies moving to a higher category, particularly with that of Benin, Indonesia, Nauru, Nepal, Romania, and Tanzania, of which in last year, as of July 1, they only have, or they belong to groups ranging from low income to upper middle income. But for 2020, as of July 1, these countries are now within the groups of lower middle income to high income. None of these countries now belonging to a low income group. Now let's distinguish developed and developing countries. Developed nations are generally categorized as countries that are more industrialized and have a higher per capita income levels. In general, per capita income of a developed country is above $12,000 and has an average of $38,000, while low and middle income economies are usually referred to as developing economies. These are economies whose GNI per capita falls below $12,000. Now let's have a comparative study of the structural diversity of developing economies. First is as to the size income level. So as what we are discussing earlier, there are some changes in their classification depending on their GNI per capita. So the following countries have new income groups as of this year. You have there Argentina, Armenia, you have Croatia, you have Jordan, Guatemala, you have Panama, you have Syrian Arab Republic, you have Tajikistan, and Yemen Republic. So as you can see from their old groupings compared to their new group, others have moved higher, like that of Argentina, from upper middle income to high income. However, there are also those that have decreased in their per capita, resulting to a lower level of grouping, such that of Yemen Republic from lower middle to low income economies. So the second structural diversity of these developing nations is on the low levels of living, as classified first with their per capita national income. So when we say low levels of living, this implies the inability of the population to intake the required calorie count per day. So this situation arises due to absolute poverty conditions or low levels of employment. So according to the World Bank, low-income countries are nations that have a per capita gross national income, or GNI, of less than $1,026, while the lower middle income nations have a GNI per capita of $1,026 to $4,035. And finally, the low-income countries have GNI per capita of 1,025 per capita less. So since there are still countries around the world that falls within the groupings of low-income countries, implying that there are countries whose population are unable to have an intake of the required calorie count per day. Second is the relative growth rates of national and per capita income. So this refers to the relationship between growth in population and growth in per capita income. So the standard is per capita income equals total income divided by population. The growth rate of per capita income roughly equals the difference between the growth rate of income and the growth rate of population. So this means that the higher the income and the lower the population will give a higher per capita income. However, if it's the other way around, the lower the income and the higher the population, the lower the per capita income. The next is the distribution of national income. In economics, of course, we are familiar with the definition of distribution, that this is the way total output or income or wealth is being distributed among individuals or among the factors of production such as labor, land, and capital. But in this case, national income distribution is how the income of a country is being distributed among its population, particularly in providing their basic necessities. Then next is the extent of poverty. How high or how low is the poverty experience in a certain country? So according to World Bank, the global extreme poverty rate fell to 9.2% in 2017 from 10.1% in 2015. So that equivalent to 689 million people living on less than $1.9 a day. At higher poverty lines, 24.1% of the world live on less than $3.20 a day, and 43.6% or less than $5.5 a day in 2017. So this is but the statistics on the extent of poverty experience around the globe. And so far, due to the pandemic that the world is experiencing, these statistics might give us a higher percentages. So based from a preliminary estimate for 2020, incorporating the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, now projects that an additional 88 million to 115 million people will be pushed into extreme poverty, bringing the total to between 703 and 729 million. Okay, that would be all class for this morning. By next video, we'll continue the discussion on the rest of the diversity structures such as health, education, the Human Development Index, levels of productivity, high rates of population growth, and the rest of the structures. So thank you for watching this video. Your activity will be posted after the rest of the structures are being presented to you.